Let's pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
Channel 23, KNDO, Yakima.
Joe Garagiola, Tony Kubek, back at Candlestick Park. We'll go to the last of the fifth. The Cubs lead 3-2 over the Giants. A couple of home runs in this ball game. Jackie Clark in the first with Bettini on. The only 2 Giant runs. Steve Dillard, a 2-run home run in the third for the Cubs. Now it's Joe Bettini, Jackie Clark, and Darrell Evans to face Dennis Lamb. 1 ball.
Tony Toronto, 4, and California 3 at the end of 4. A lot of home runs in that game.
1 ball, 1 strike to Bettini.
Woods, Thompson, Davis, Orge, all have home runs. Oakland's at Cleveland a later start. Everybody else tonight.
2 balls and 1 strike. Joe Malfitano with Cookie Rojas with the glasses looking on. Rojas, a man who was so instrumental. Ground ball. De Jesus charges hard. Bettini can run. He gets him at first base. It's harder to say about the one out here with about Rojas, who really played a big role. Orlando Cepeda, now White Sox coach, interceded for him. Orlando is having some rough times.
In the National League, it's all night action. Houston at New York, Cincinnati at Philadelphia, San Diego at Pittsburgh, Atlanta at Montreal, St. Louis at Los Angeles. And I might add that sometimes we get criticized for the games we pick. You might see that our choice was rather limited.
Don't get me on that, because I got so upset. I saw a letter in the Milwaukee Journal about this is the Red Sox network, and the fans, and Joe and I don't pick the games, fans look one time, see what's available. Baseball ought to be getting the letters. Ground ball, but it's fouled by Clark.
Well, there are 3 games we could have chosen from today. This one, the California, the thing in Toronto, and the Oakland-Cleveland game. And they say you never show our team.
Baseball gets paid a lot of money by a couple networks. One of those ours, and
there's a real baseball fan. What do you do with bubblegum cards if you don't save them or trade them? Paste them on a hat. Is that my card on there?
Yeah. 2 balls, 1 strike with 1 out on Jackie Clark. He's homered. 2-run home run in the first. He is walked in the third. Hit hard again to left field. Buckner back to the warning track. He's got it. He makes a lot of hard outs, Jackie Clark. If he had a lineup, of course, Mike Ivey, if he were hitting well, would be a guy who could help, and when McCovey was healthy and younger. But if he had a few big hitters around him and a bunch of guys in front, there's no telling what that guy could do. Or if he played in New York, the publicity center of the world, they would be talking a lot more about Jackie Clark, because he's a super ball player. Now it's Evans, a ground out and a fly out.
They might even be saying the Magic's back and Clark's bat. The Magic, we'd have Blackstone on
you. Bet. 2-0 to Evans.
Tony, I like it when a ball's hit out of left field here, because there's a lot of room between the fence and the stands, and those people come over the wall like boot camp in a Marine base or something. They come flying over that wall.
2 balls and 1 strike. Darrell Evans. Three and 1. He had some good years based on balls with Atlanta, 72, 3 and 4. He had 124, 126, 105 walks. 105 for the Giants in 78. He just walks again. Evans this year, 51 bases on balls. Billy North leads this ball club. So now it's Larry Herndon. He was grounded out and walked. Cubs 3, Giants 2. There are 2 outs. We're in the last of the 5th. Good side-arm breaking ball to Herndon. Evans, not considered to have good speed, but he has stolen 11 bases. So Cliff Johnson is holding him close. Fly ball center field. He got under it. Jesus Figueroa with a third out. So after 5 here in Candlestick Park, San Francisco, the score, the Chicago Cubs 3, the San Francisco Giants 2. About Jackie Clark, you know, he might be underrated in a lot of people's eyes, so we asked him if that causes a little bitterness among him.
No, it really doesn't embitter me. I've learned a lot. I'm still getting better, and I just hope I'll just keep learning in this game. Being out here on the West Coast, you don't get the recognition I feel like you would on the East Coast, and I feel just, you know, players around the league and everything know baseball and everything know that I'm a factor to be reckoned with around the league. So I just, you know, I feel confident more or less having the players respecting the fans.
I think that's interesting, and that, you know, a lot of players will say that about the All-Star balloting too. As long as I'm recognized as a good player among my own peer group, players, managers, coaches, that'll satisfy me. So now a new pitcher for the Giants with the score 3-2, the Cubs over the Giants, is Gary Laval, relieving Vida Blue. Blue coming off that disabled list over 30 days. They don't want to take a chance on hurting him because he's going to be very important to them. And this ball club, the Giants, still has a chance. This Western Division pennant. They've come out of nowhere. They've played so well since April. Laval, a hard thrower with a hard slider.
They've had so many injuries, too. Their disabled list is just packed, jam-packed.
At 5 on the disabled list. Fly ball. Right center field. Tim Blackwell, retired by Jackie Clark.
Strain was put on the disabled list when Vida Blue came off, and they couldn't put him on the 15-day disabled list because that's already taken up with Milt May, so he's gone for 21 days.
Now Montefusco's on the disabled list. Joe Strain now. Blue just coming off. Milt May was put on a couple of days ago, their catcher. It's been a tough year. In fact, they've had so many injuries that the Giants have been forced to call up 9 players from their Phoenix farm team, and they've all done a good job for them. They've all contributed. They had a rough April, but they've improved steadily since April.
They just called up another one, too. Jeff Stember, a pitcher, and they've optioned Bill Bordley out. Bordley pitched last night.
2 balls. They get 3-0 on Dennis Lamp now from Laval with 1 out. Lamp single, scored a run in the 3rd, and he flied to center field. De Jesus on deck for the Cubs. Laval walks the pitcher on 4 pitches.
Oakland and Cleveland postponed because of rain.
Don McMahon, the pitching coach, on the right. Benson in the middle. Bristol talking to Mike Ivey, saying play halfway, play behind him. Lamp's not going anywhere with De Jesus stepping in. Man pitched professionally. What, he was 44, 46 years old?
Who, McMahon?
Yeah, he's still pitching professionally in the big leagues. Sarge Fowler the other day, he's now a coach with Billy Martin in the Oakland A's. He was still pitching professionally at age 48. So now it's De Jesus. He's struck out twice, and he's flying to right field. Off Laval, high, late.
He must be catching that ball right in the pocket because you can hear that ball pop, and that's something new. Most of these catchers use those big pillows that are like giant tweezers.
Laval had his best season for the Giants as we look at Sadek back in '77. He set a Giants club record in saves with 20, appearances 73. In fact, he led the National League in ERA most of the season. He was under 2, fouled off by De Jesus. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Not a big crowd at Candlestick. They stay in the race. August and September. More and more will come out. Bob Lurie, the owner of the club, Speck Richardson, the general manager. They've done some kind of job here. They had pitching problems last year and injuries. 3-2, 1 out. Lamp at first, De Jesus the hitter. Giant infield on the left side, playing very shallow for De Jesus. About halfway, looking for the double play. Take you around the horn. Not going outside. De Jesus is on, so Lamp will move to second. 1 out. The Cubs have 2 men on base. And out comes Davey Bristol once again to talk to Gary Laval.
It's pretty simple what he's going to be talking about. First of all, 2 strikes and no balls. You just can't lose him to bring up the middle of the lineup, although Dillard batting second. I'm talking about Buckner, Johnson, and those guys who can break it wide open with one swing of the bat. He apparently has good stuff, but managers will just come leaping off the bench when you start out 2 strikes, no balls, and then forget it, walk them.
Steve Dillard with Lamp at second, De Jesus at first. Dillard been on a little bit of a hitting streak. Last 6 games, he's 6 for 16, 375. See what he's done today. He struck out, flied out, and hit a 2-run home run in the 3rd to give the Cubs that lead. 1 ball, no strikes to Steve Dillard. Started off in the Red Sox organization. Dillard, he had some severe arm problems. Going to be a shortstop. He's almost out of baseball. Fly ball left center field. Going to be trouble. Billy North playing in right center field. Chasing it all the way to the warning track. Lamp will score. De Jesus being waved down by Rojas. Here comes Dillard to third with a stand-up triple. He's having some kind of day. 4 RBIs for Steve Dillard. Considered weak hitting, but not so far today through 6. Joe Billy North is playing him very shallow and way over toward right center field. Not expecting him to pull the valve.
And Tony, the 2 runs that scored, the pitcher Lamp got a base on balls. De Jesus had a count of 2 strikes, no balls. He ended up walking.
That's Dillard at third with 1 ball to count on Buckner. Buckner fouled out. Since then, he has singled and doubled and scored a run. 5-2, the Cubs over the Giants. In the last to the 6th. Correction, top of the 6th. Popped up, Sadek getting instructions from Laval, but it's out of play. So now, 1 ball, 1 strike. I think it's interesting the way Laval taking his stretch. He never even looks at the runner at third base. He's taking his stretch, and then he's decoying as if he's going to throw over to first base. He did on the last pitch.
Tony, I find that defense in the infield a little bit interesting, too. Shortstop, Patini and Evans fairly close. A little bit of room up the middle.
Room up the middle on the left side. Stenton is shaded toward the second base bag of shade. Ivy off the line. A little bit of a hole between Stenton and Ivy. 1-1 with 1 out. Through the back. Short center field. Wynn holds it in the infield. Patini with that 1 hand. He's one of the few infielders you'll see. He did it last night. Catch the ball with 1 hand. You see outfielders do it all the time. So Buckner throwing his bat at it. So I'm surprised he did this because it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Wasn't a do-or-die swing for Buckner, and yet he didn't have a good one. With a good slider by Laval.
Look at Stennett. That's a good picture of Stennett battling all the way, and then Patini finally taking charge and making the play.
So now Laval will go to the windup to Cliff Johnson with Dillard at third. The Cubs lead 5-2. There are 2 outs, 1 strike. Breaking ball that came around the outside part of the plate. Way inside, 1-1. Johnson, the man who spent the time with the Yankees, then that little fight with Rich Gossage, where Gossage was out. May have gotten him traded by Mr. Steinbrenner. There's Dillard at third with Rojas. Johnson then went to Cleveland. Look out, what a cut he had on the slider.
He talks about it like he thinks it was a factor. I mean, he's not bitter about it at all, but when he came on the field, I said, I'd shake hands with you, Cliff, but I don't want to get hurt. He said, no, don't worry about it. I don't want to get traded yet. Every time I want to get traded, that's when it happens.
1 ball, 2 strikes with 2 outs on Cliff Johnson.
It's been a big help to this Cub ball club.
Al especially, and the ball club, the Cubs, are sitting in last place. The 3rd worst record in all of baseball. Way outside by Laval. Count goes 2-2 to Johnson. But they sure miss Kingman. We've said that before in this telecast. But with him, they might be 10 games better off in the standings. And everybody else around him might be having a better year because he creates a lot of pressures. Good breaking ball. Somehow Johnson got a piece of it and fouled it off.
And Kingman's situation, I think, Tony, like you say, he creates a lot of pressures. He creates double pressures, certainly on the opposing pitcher. And then if he does pop one, he takes a lot of heat and a lot of pressure off his own ball players. And they don't try extra.
If he hits a home run early, the pressure's off the pitching staff. If they get ahead early, it means that Suter can get rested a little more. He's a little more effective. It just sets up the whole ball club. And there are very few players, and they have to be those kind of potent players that can make that much of a difference with the ball club. But Kingman's bat makes that much difference in this game. He's missed an awful lot of ball games. So now, 3-2 with Dillard on third with 2 outs. Kingman has been in just 47 ball games, 10 home runs, 33 RBIs. 163 official at-bats for Dave, hitting .264. Way outside, he didn't want to pitch Johnson. He went to a breaking ball. So now, runners at first and third for the Cubs will bring up Jerry Martin, who was singled, went to second on a balk by Vida Blue. He walked, and then he was intentionally walked in the 5th. Meanwhile, the Giants' bullpen is gone, and Bristol is out now to talk to John McSherry. Tom Griffin.
I think the reason Bristol's talking to McSherry because you got Ivy, Stennett, and the catcher coming up, and the pitcher. He's going to make a change.
He's going to make some change so he doesn't lose a pinch hitter. He was just clarifying with McSherry and doing it before he did it. He's going to take Lavelle out.
Whitfield is going in to play left field.
Herndon's going to leave.
And Herndon will be out, so he'll make the change.
What he will probably do is bat Whitfield in the pitcher spot 9th. And then he will put the pitcher in Herndon's spot 5th. So, going to the last of the 6th with the changes being made. There's your score with 2 outs. Cubs 5, the Giants 2.
Cubs Pirates, or see the White Sox Red Sox splash. Check local listings for the game in your area.
Next week, on our Saturday game of the week, Joe Garagiola and I will be in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh against the Phillies. See Pete Rose, Dave Parker, Willie Stargell's back. Ron Luciano, Merle Harvard will be with the Red Sox and the White Sox. Fred Lynn, Chet Lemon, that young pitching staff for the White Sox, and all the rumors about Bill Veeck trading that ball club, or selling the ball club. I don't know if he wants to trade it, but he might want to sell it. Next Saturday on NBC Sports, check your local listing for the game in your area. New pitcher, Tom Griffin for the Giants. There are 2 outs. Cubs lead 5-2. Terry Whitfield has gone into left field, replacing Larry Herndon. He'll bat 9th. Look out. Griffin with a good fastball. Moves the hitter, Martin, away. 1 ball, no strikes. 5-2, the Cubs lead. Griffin, 32 years old, born and raised Los Angeles. Foul ball. 1-1. And you can see that is a slump. Check swing by Martin. The appeal goes down to West. Count goes 2 balls and 1 strike. Martin, before the All-Star break, that visual was a little bit messed up. Hit .262 before the All-Star break. Since the All-Star break, he's been in a horrendous slump, hitting .189. He's ahead on Tom Griffin, 2-1 with 2 outs, runners at first and third. Foul off, he had a cut, just missed. You hear that expression a million times in the bench ballpark, don't you? Just missed it. Dillard at third. He tripled home 2 runs. He has 4 RBIs in this ball game. He had a 2-run home run in the third. Steve Dillard did. Tripled Lamp and DeJesus home in this inning. Johnson's at first. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Giants trail by 3. Their third pitcher. Blue started, then Lavelle, now Griffin. Way outside, another nice play by Sadek. Count goes 3-2 with 2 outs. Johnson will be on the move. For a guy just off the disabled list, he's done a good job. And I think you're playing a day game today after he caught the night game yesterday. There's Gene Klein saying make sure he pitches before you take off. He pulled a string on a 3-2 pitch, fouled off.
I know before the game, Tony, the lineup card, the catcher spot was just left vacant by Bristol.
Well, they've got Little John also, with Milt May on the disabled list now. Sadek catching a day game after night game. So you really stirred something up talking about day games after night games. I've seen pictures of Pignatano and Craig Swan with their zucchini. If you got that letter all over the papers in the country. Why the Zucchinis don't respond day game after night game. 3-2. Johnson off again. He walks him. So Martin's on. The bases are loaded. And it's Lenny Randle.
Got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 walks. Is that right?
8 walks for this inning. One of those intentional in the 5th to Martin. Martin has walked 3 times in the ball game.
Base on balls last night killed him.
Now here comes Lenny Randle, who walked the first 2 times up, and then he fouled out. Hitting from the left side. Pitching from the stretch, Griffin. Chopper. Griffin on 2 easy hops over to Ivy, so Randle tops the first pitch. Griffin pitches out of it, going to the last of the 6 here in Candlestick. The score, the Chicago Cubs 5, the Giants 2. Cubs have left 10 on base. Going to the last of the 6th here with the score 5-2. The Cubs lead over the Giants. It's a nice cool day here in Candlestick, bright and sunny. Preston Gomez, recently fired by the Chicago Cubs. There he is. Joe Amalfitano has taken over the reins. Gomez managed previously with the San Diego Padres, the expansion franchise. I'll say one thing, Preston did not go peacefully because, you know, the press conference the other day, there's Suter, Rojas, Ivy, the first hitter off Lamp. 1 ball. But Bob Kennedy, the general manager of the Cubs, said, I guess when anytime you fire somebody, you lose a friend. Ivy with a line drive, but it just keeps carrying to Bill Buckner. 1 out. Kennedy, in a little bit of scrapping back and forth. Kennedy saying in the newspapers he did not like the strategy of Gomez. Preston saying, well, I didn't like his coaching my players during spring training at the beginning of the season. He said, that's what I've got coaches for. He should keep his nose out of it. Preston also said during the course of the game, Kennedy would call down and he refused to take the calls. He's saying, I'm the manager. So maybe there is a parting of the ways. We wish Amalfitano the best. Stennett goes after a bad pitch, 0-2 with 1 out.
Unfortunately, though, Tony, I don't care what the job is. When the boss calls, you better take his call.
During the course of a game?
During the course of anything.
Oh, nuts. It's hard enough to concentrate and keep your mind on the ball game without answering phone calls. Rennie Stennett, 0 for 2 in the ball game. Count 1 ball, 2 strikes. Lamp gets him.
The general manager and the manager don't work together, you're in deep trouble.
Yeah, you got to work together, but you got to also maintain a certain kind of concentration during the course of a ball game, and I guess the manager's got to have the confidence that you're making the right moves during the course of the game. Talk to them before or after, go to dinner, but don't become Charlie Finley and call during the course of the game and try and make the moves and run the show. Sadek with 2 outs, 1 strike. Lamp has gotten in a groove since Jackie Clark's home run in that first inning, a 2-run home run. He's had 4 2/3 shutout innings.
Talking about general manager now, not owner.
Fouled off by Sadek. 1 ball, 2 strikes with 2 outs. Cubs 5, Giants 2. The walks have hurt the Giants today, as Joe's mentioned earlier. Pull the string, just got a piece of it. That'll stay at 1-2. Sidearm curveball fouled out of play. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Comes to the side, almost took the head of Lamp off. Drilled hard for a base hit by Sadek. Figueroa back to the infield. So now I'll bring up Terry Whitfield, who came into the ballgame the last inning when Griffin came in. Dave Bristol flip-flopped his lineup, put Griffin in Herndon's spot. The batting order 5, and Whitfield number 9. He saves a pitcher this way. Sadek 2 for 3 in the ball game.
Whitfield with his ballerina stance. Watch that front foot. There it goes.
1 strike. Whitfield hitting at .257. Been in 72 ball games. Does not have a home run. Has 12 RBIs. Look at that. Look at that front toe. 1 strike. Drill right center field. It's going to be trouble. Figueroa out to the races. The runner's going to score. No, it is going to score. Ground rule double, so the Giants may have gotten a break. It hit the hard infield and bounced out.
Whitfield lost his shoe. He's going back for his
first
shoe.
base.
He threw his shoe. How do you like that? Lefevre picking up his shoe. Whitfield has to laugh at that himself. He just literally threw his shoe.
A run was going to score. Sadek was almost around third base, but the ball bounced out for a ground rule double, so he's sent back. Whitfield has had a .304 lifetime batting average against right-handed pitchers, and he really teed off the right center field. A break for the Cubbies. Ground rule double. So now, with runners on second and third, the Giants are trailing by 3, 5-2 the Cubs lead. A very hard infield and outfield, as you see, and the reason it is because of the swirling winds. This wind blows the dirt into the faces of the infielders and the hitters. So it's like a hard pan.
The Cub bullpen gets busy in a hurry, too.
Now it's Billy North. He's 0 for 3 in the ball game. A ground out, a fly ball, and a strikeout. North, one of those guys whose average is deceiving. He's hitting .240 now, and you would think it's a weak .240, but he gets on base so much. He sets up innings for you with his speed. He's got 61 bases on balls, leading the club. Ground ball up the middle. Whitfield clear out third. Billy North with 2 RBIs. The score now: Cubs 5, Giants 4. With 2 outs, Billy North comes through, driving home 2.
Tony looked like he hit a pretty tough pitch, too. It looked like it was inside, and he was going to send it right back up the middle. Lamb couldn't get the tailgate down, and it just goes right into center field. Watch it. It's right back, right through his legs. Just didn't get the tailgate down.
That ball fool him, do you think?
Had to.
Was it softer than he thought or harder? One or the other, because the ball hit right at him. Here's Joey Amalfitano now, who's asking for time, and as he comes out to talk to Lamb, Amalfitano has 2 men warming up in his bullpen, a left-hander and a right-hander. So there is Hernandez, Willie Hernandez, the left-hander, and Dirt, Dick Tidrow, the right-hander.
That mound is only 60 feet 6 inches from home plate, and that ball always appears to be coming back much harder than it actually is. North muscles it. Lamp had to be fooled by the pitch because he just didn't get the tailgate down.
Joey Amalfitano out to talk to Dennis Lamp. The ground ball wasn't hit that hard, but it picked up speed. He might have fielded his way out of this inning with a good play on North's bounder. Amalfitano started his playing career, professional career with the Giants. He was a big bonus baby. 10 years in the major leagues. Giants, Houston, the Cubs. And in comes Dick Tidrow, a former Yankee, with 2 outs. The Cubs leading 5-4. North is on first base. Tidrow comes in to relieve Dennis Lamp for the Cubs. I'm going to leave you right now for this short message.
Although it was a personal victory for me and my teammates, that moment was shared by millions of fans in Brooklyn and around the world. You know, that's one of the great things about baseball. Great personal moments can be shared with others. Sharing baseball's greatest moments is what Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York is all about. The Hall of Fame preserves baseball's greatest memories and thrills. Baseball Fever. Catch it at Cooperstown.
The preceding message was furnished by Major League Baseball.
John McSherry now has gone out to talk to the new Cubs pitcher, Dick Tidrow. Relief of Dennis Lamp. The situation is this: Cubs 5, Giants 4. We're in the bottom of the 6th. Billy North just singled home 2 Giant runs after a ground rule double by Terry Whitfield. 2 home runs in the ball game. Dillard, a 2-run home run. Also a 2-run triple. Dillard has 4 of the 5 RBIs for the Cubs. Jackie Clark has a 2-run home run in the first inning. Billy North, second in the National League of stolen bases last year with 58. He has 33 this year. Tidrow with a high leg kick.
And you know, Tony, I was just going to mention, in all his warm-up tosses, he has not gone to that high leg kick. Just wonder whether he's given up on it or if he just uses it in the game. Kind of rare, because I was watching him thinking the same thing you were, that with that leg kick, North should be able to get a pretty good jump off him.
Patini's job right now is, if North's going to go, give him a chance to read Tidrow and take a pitch or so, let him get a jump. Tidrow throws over 1 time for Billy North. North's high in stolen bases was in 1976 for Oakland, where he stole 75. He's stolen over 50 bases 3 other times in the major leagues. 327 total major league steals for North. Good lead from the side. 1 strike to Patini.
He's not kicking that leg as high as he was either. He used to hide that ball.
North has read 1 move to first base. He's read 1 pitch to home plate. 1 strike, 2 outs. 5-4. The Cubs lead. Not going. He bunts. He might beat it out. Randall in fast. Going to be tough. He is safe. Cliff Johnson may have come off the gas too soon. Randall was playing back. He made a good play, but Patini dropped a perfect bunt. So now the tying run in scoring position at second base in North. The winning run down at first base, and the man who's got 1 home run, Jackie Clark. He's walked and lined hard to left field.
And that for Patini was his 3rd base hit of the afternoon.
Patini has singled to center field and scored around. Single to center field again. He grounded out. Now he just dropped a beautiful bunt. Jackie Clark becoming a very popular figure here in Candlestick since McCovey left. Just 24 years old. Gifted with tremendous talent. He'll face Tidrow, a tough side-arming sinker baller with a good slider. Little low, 1 ball to Clark. Clark with 20 home runs on the year, 63 RBIs. He's now lifted his average over 290. Outside again. 2-0 to Jackie Clark.
Talk about lifting your average. Patini's now up to 277. Came into the game hitting 240 as we look at Billy North at second and Patini at first.
5-4. The Cubs lead over the Giants. We're in the bottom of the 6th. 2-0 with 2 outs on Jackie Clark. Clark taking a lot of time. Now Blackwell out for a conference with Dick Tidrow. A change of signs with the veteran North down at second base, just getting everything straight. Evans is the on-deck hitter for the Giants. The flags out in center field indicate the wind is blowing very strongly to the left, but you never know in Candlestick the way it swirls. Now completely enclosed from the side. Tidrow now goes 3 balls, no strikes to Jackie Clark, who is looking down at Jimmy Davenport, his third base coach. And you got to believe they don't want to take the bat out of this guy's hand. They'll give him the go-ahead. There's Davenport. Game-winning hits for Jackie Clark, leading the lead hard to center field. Right at Figueroa on the warning track. So 3-0. Clark wailed away, hit it hard, but couldn't get it over the head of Figueroa. So after 6 here in Candlestick, the score: the Cubs 5, the Giants 4, and we'll be right back after these messages from your local station.
In the morning, it's people, fun, and games with David Letterman, Wheel of Fortune, Password Plus, and Card Sharks. It's a brand new morning, weekdays on NBC.
Are you missing out on the biggest sale of the...
KNDO Yakima.
Joe Garagiola with Tony Kubek here at Candlestick Park in San Francisco. A beautiful afternoon for baseball and quite a ball game. The Cubs leading the Giants 5-4. We're in the 7th inning. And tomorrow on Sports World, Moscow once more, 1980 Olympics. That's a special edition of Sports World. They'll go right from Afghanistan to the winter stand, step by step. Battle of Britain. Cohen Ovett will be there. Nadia and Alexandra Ditiatine's 8 medals. So join host Bryant Gumbel along with Bruce Jenner and many others as Sports World will review Moscow once more tomorrow. Figueroa takes the first pitch, and it's a strike. 11,505 the attendance here at Candlestick. Dodgers went over the 2 million mark last night. Hot smash. Ivy,
boy.
what a play. He flips to the pitcher and 1 out. Beautiful play by Mike Ivy.
Joe, after he shied away from the stands or that ball got in the sun early in the ball game, he has made really 2 excellent plays and 1 other tough one when the ball got in the sun, but this is just a great play. He was kind of guarding the line. He backhands the ball, starts taking himself. Nice bare hand flip to Griffin to show him the ball, but he made that play and that one going over his shoulder in foul territory, which are just 2 excellent plays.
And that's a young man that's been having all kinds of personal problems. The players, everybody is trying to help him through a tough period. Here's Blackwell. Takes it high, ball 1. Here's a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike, 1 out. Chicago 5, San Francisco 4. We're in the 7th. Tom Griffin. 2 strikes. Born in Los Angeles, 6'3", 210 pounds, was signed as a free agent in 1979. Named the Sporting News National League Rookie Pitcher of the Year. Line drive down the right field line. This is going to be extra bases. Blackwell rounding first, digging hard for second. He'll stop. Double. And that brings up Tidrow. Dick Tidrow. Tidrow replaced Lamp. 1 man out. 5-4. Cubs lead. We're in the 7th. Outfield moves in close. Right center field. North over there. Makes the catch. That ball was pretty well hit. It looked like it was starting to take off. North hauls it in.
Now, so Tidrow now's got a big 0 for 2 for the season. That's only his 2nd at bat.
Now Sadak wants to talk to his pitcher, Tom Griffin. DeJesus comes up to bat. DeJesus has struck out twice, walked and scored in the 6th, and he flied to right, so he's 0 for 3. Giant bullpen continues to loosen up.
DeJesus, one of those guys, I think, because there's so many exceptional shortstops in the National League, has gone overlooked. You know, the new guys coming in, Smith, San Diego, and Gary Templeton now, and the older guys, I hate to say the older guys, there's Greg Minton warming up, the right-hander for the Giants, but I hate to say the older guys, but Concepcion and Boa, and they get all the attention.
That's what's happening.
Dave, you'll get mad. We call him old at 32. Just I said we call him old now, including you.
Yeah, but he'll holler at me. He'll come up and tell you how great you are. 2 balls and no strikes. You just hear him now. Hey, Baldy.
Uh-huh. What you do to me? What you say about me?
He's a good guy, David.
Sure.
5-4. Cubs lead. 2 balls, no strikes on DeJesus. There are 2 outs. Blackwell at second. Curveball is a beauty. 2-1 to count. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Foul tip, held on to. It's 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. We're in the 7th inning. forget our 7th inning stretch coming up here with the Hall of Fame tomorrow. The Duke of Flatbush will be featured in our 7th inning stretch. The Duker will be going into the Hall of Fame tomorrow.
I think that's great, but I'm wondering why did it take the writers so long to get him in there? Remember when Mays, Mantle, and the Duke were all in center field? The 3 teams were there, and they used to compare them, who's the best. When they were comparing those guys, Duke with Mays and Mantle, why did it take them so long, the writers, to vote him in?
I don't know.
I don't
know. Did he go around? Yes, he did. DeJesus is struck out for the 3rd time this afternoon. That ends the 7th inning. The score: the Chicago Cubs 5, the San Francisco Giants 4. Now here's another installment of our 7th inning stretch. It's a Hall of Famer.
Old Spice presents a 7th inning stretch, brought to you by Old Spice Aftershave and Cologne, a fresh, clean, masculine scent women love.
Duke Snider played with cool intensity and a regal touch of disenchantment. When he first joined the Brooklyn Dodgers in 1947, his swing was majestic, but too wild and eager. Duke learned quickly to ignore unworthy pitches, and his lively power paced the National League in home runs and RBIs. A Dodger for 18 years, Duke's lifetime slugging percentage is one of the highest on record, and his subjects feasted whenever the Duke hoisted a homer over the wall into Bedford Avenue. Duke also had a commanding presence in center field, and in 6 World Series he made several unforgettable catches. Joining an illustrious group of teammates in the Hall of Fame, he remains the Duke of Flatbush, the beloved sovereign of the underdog.
When a man wears Old Spice, chances are he'll always get a warm reception. No wonder. The clean, fresh, masculine fragrance of Old Spice is a scent that women know and love. So when you're wearing Old Spice, the invitation is clear. It can really spice up your life.
Put a little spice in your life with Old Spice.
Duke Snider. Hope you enjoyed that. Ebbets Field. Boy, memories. You talk about memories, Tony, as we wait for Darrell Evans to come up. Wrigley Field is the only ballpark still standing that I played in, and Candlestick, this one.
No.
The only National League, yeah. Everything else is gone. This is the 2nd oldest league park in the league, Candlestick.
Is that right?
You believe that?
No.
What's older outside of Wrigley Field?
White Sox Park.
We welcome those of you watching the Toronto game. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning here in Candlestick. The Cubs are leading 5-4. And Dick Tidrow is the pitcher for Chicago. Darrell Evans will lead it off. We've got a pinch hitter in the on-deck circle for the Giants since the pitcher spot is next. There's the strike to Evans. Roger Metzger is a pinch hitter scheduled to bat for Griffin. Way outside. Joe Garagiola with Tony Kubek here in San Francisco. Cubs 5 runs, 8 hits and no errors. The Giants 4 runs, 9 hits and no errors. Dillard a home run. He's had a big day. Straight away center field. Figueroa hauls it in. 1 out. So with 1 away, a pinch hitter, Roger Metzger. And what a story this is, Tony.
I tell you, I talked to him on the bench yesterday. First time I'd seen him since his tragic accident where, with a radial arm saw doing some carpentry work, he cut the 4 fingers of his right hand off. Did you look at that, Joe?
I saw him in spring training at the ballpark
Thought
in
he'd never
Phoenix,
play
Tony.
again.
And I'd say it was amazing to watch him. He just battled back, and he's here.
Well, he's somehow able to throw a ball. Tell you, talk about shortstops. He was kind of a pioneer on artificial surface coming out of the Astrodome. And he can pick it. Quick, fast, accurate arm, cover a lot of ground.
Outside, Metzger. Born in Fredericksburg, Texas. They bought him from Houston. cash consideration. June 15, 1978.
He will
Balls
never
are on
have a
strike.
job, I don't think, never have a hard time getting a job in baseball. He's such a student of the game and such a hard worker that if he wants a coaching job, I've got to believe he'll get one.
I agree with you. That should be an upset right there. Me agreeing with you. 2-2 pitch outside, 3-2. Giants trail by 1, 5-4 Cubs. Ball 4, time run is on. California, 2 runs in the 8th inning, now have 5. Toronto 4 at the end of 8. So 1 away. Metzger, the base runner.
And the Giants have got a little speed on first base in Roger Metzger. You can't take him too lightly to steal situation. He goes from first to third very well, and he can score on a long single.
Here's Mike Ivy. Ivy's hit the ball hard. Doubled in the second, lined hard in the 6th. Foul to the catcher his other time. Takes it low, ball 1.
Ivy's really had trouble since coming off that surgery on his right hand, holding on to the bat. I think he's doing a lot of therapy, a lot of exercise to strengthen it. He said it's frustrating for him because he sees pitches that guys are getting by him that they never used to. He's seen the ball so well.
Low outside, pull foul. With 1 man out, you can see what Tidrow and his catcher Blackwell are trying to do. Keep that ball low to get the ground ball, natural sinker baller, and to keep it outside, hoping that Ivy tries to pull it and hits that routine ground ball to the shortstop or third baseman. Metzger's on at first. Giants trail by a run. Popped up behind the plate, out of play. It's a personal problem that Mike Ivy has, and his manager Dave Bristol doing everything he can. Here's what he had to say about it.
Well, Joe, Mike has had some problems in the past, and he's had some problems earlier in the year when he cut his finger and had to have a lot of stitches, and a lot of things just welled up within him, and sometimes they got too much for him to handle. But we've tried as best we can as a manager and as 24 players. We've tried to help him as much as we could because he knows that he's important to this ball club. And I know each day that he might be up a little bit, or 2 days ago he was really down, so I took him out of the lineup. And I'm man enough to admit that every day's not going to be perfect for all of us. All of us have problems, and we're going to try to work them out with him and try to keep him on our ball club because he can help us once he gets back to a situation where he can handle.
And right there, Dave, very prophetic. Ivy has helped the ball club by putting the tying run at third by hitting the right field.
And he was shooting right in that area. This kid's had a good day, and you can see the cheers are being led by a man that knocked him earlier. The first base coach, Jim Lefevre, over slapping him on the back. Ivy said some things about ball club and baseball that Lefevre took seriously. Since Ivy's apologies, did Metzger go from first to third? He had to avoid that ball, and he still made it.
So here is Rennie Stennett now. 1 man out. Tying run is at third. Lead run is at first. Low and inside. Dave Bristol talking about Mike Ivy. Made no bones about it after we had that conversation that we first worry about Ivy as a human being. And that begins right at the top with Bob Lurie, Speck Richardson. They're worried about him as a human being, and secondly as a player.
Look at this.
Base hit. Right field. Ivy stopped at second. The Giants have tied it up here in the bottom of the 7th inning. The tiebreaker's on at second base. Mike Ivy on at first base. It's Rennie Stennett. The batter is Sadek. And the Cub bullpen really starts to heat it up.
And Joe Ivy and Stennett did just what you'd like to see hitters try and do on a sinker ball like Tidrow, go the opposite way. But that's easier said than done, because when he pours that sinker down in there, you got nothing to do but pull it. They still went the opposite way.
Off the handle, Cliff Johnson battles it. Infield fly. And Sadek is out. Here is Whitfield. Whitfield came in the game. He's in the 9th position, and he doubled and came in to score in the 6th inning when the Giants scored 2 runs. Whitfield, a good hitter. When he's at the first pitch, he doesn't wait for anything. That ball's near the plate. He's going to go to whacking. California 5, Toronto 4. That's a final score.
Right side of the infield now for the Cubs playing deep in this tie ball game with 2 outs. They want to knock that ball down. Keep it from going to the outfield. You want to dive or do anything you can. Hot smash. Pass Johnson into right field. Here comes Ivy to throw. It's going to be close. Safe. Out for Ivy. And I'll tell you once again, the Cubs making a fundamental mistake. Martin in right field makes a high throw. That's bad enough in itself. He didn't get the run. It would have been a tough throw anyway. But by overthrowing the cutoff man, they take themselves out of a force situation. Whitfield going to second base. Another fundamental lapse.
It looked like they would have had a chance to get him. They're going to intentionally walk Billy North to set up the double play situation now. That's what the high throw caused. Looked like they had a chance to get him, Tony.
Yeah, it did. Martin came up throwing from right field. Cliff Johnson really wasn't in cutoff position as we see Ivy scoring with the go-ahead run because Cliff Johnson was lying on the ground. A low throw, there might have been a chance. Right here while the ball is bouncing away. I'll tell you, that would have been some kind of collision on a low throw. Ivy cut the third base bag. He's not fast, but he cut third base very sharply, Joe. He didn't really round it way off into the dugout like some do. He might have made the play with that. He's got a good day.
So here is Patini now with the bases loaded, 2 men out.
Look at Randall this time. He's in at third. Patini dropped the bunt on him last time.
There's his strike. 6-5, the Giants have taken the lead. Bouncing ball. Randall deflects it. 2 runs will score. Heading for third is North. In the second is Patini. We welcome those of you who have been watching the Toronto game. That final score there is in 5-4. And right here, the Giants 8-5 has just taken the lead. A 5-4 win for California over Toronto. The Giants, 4 big runs here and still batting.
I'll tell you one thing, the kid shortstop, Joe Patini, who just singled off Randall's glove, drove home 2 runs. He's got a 4-for-5 day going, Joe. 4 base hits
Had a
for Joe
big
Patini.
day. Mike Ivy's had a big day. Jackie Clark has hit the ball hard 3 times, but only has 1 base hit. That was a 2-run homer. He takes it low.
I guess you got to score Patini's last one a double, don't you? The ball went off the glove, got by De Jesus. 2 runs scored. Buckner came in, got it right behind the infield. Had no play at second base.
That's right. Double off the third baseman's glove. Not hit hard.
Barely reached the outfield grass.
Word we get is that they're giving him a single, but we're going to check it with our runner.
Well, they may have given him a single, but it's going to be scored eventually a double because there was no other
No other
throw.
play. I don't know how they
Buckner went to
could do it.
second base, and the kid beat it.
I agree with you. 3 balls, 1 strike now. Base runners at second and third. Billy North is on at third. Patini is on at second. Clark at a 3-0 pitch hard his last time up. Now has another cripple to take a shot at. There's a strike. He takes it all away, so it's a full count.
He's hit the ball hard 3 times in this ballgame. A 2-run home run in the first, then he walked, lined out to left, and hit it hard to center field of the warning track.
It is scored a double, Tony.
This game turned around in a hurry, didn't it?
Oh, didn't it, though? Foul back. This inning started a fly ball by Evans and walk to Metzger. A single by Ivy in the right field. A single by Stennett. Sadek popped to the first baseman. Whitfield singled. North was intentionally walking, and Patini hit the double off Randall's glove. 4 runs are in. Hot smash foul. Clark has a home run. Hit that in the first inning. The only home run for the Cubs was by Dillard. That was in the third. Dillard's had a big day for the Cubs. Triple, 2 RBIs, home run, 2 RBIs.
When you look at Tidner, he's kind of done his job. The 2 outs he's got have been fly balls. Everything else has been on the ground. They've been the base hit.
High fly ball, deep to left field. Figueroa has room. Makes the catch. So that ends the inning. The end of 7, the score here. San Francisco 8, Chicago Cubs 5.
In a battle of the unbeaten, with the winner taking a step toward a title shot Friday.
Well, 9 men went to bat for the Giants in that 7th inning. They scored 4, and they lead now by the score of 8-5 as we go into the 8th inning. And right now, let's pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
Channel 23, KNDO, Yakima.
Greg Minton is the new pitcher for San Francisco. Remember tonight now, BJ, my man, 2-hour special. BJ's Holland Sheriff Kane's runaway daughter, and the sheriff will do anything to stop him. That's tonight. BJ. And then the 6 o'clock Follies are back. Plus Stan tries to pass himself off as Harry and get the girl of his dreams on NBC's new comedy hit, Good Time Harry. So that's tonight. BJ and the Bears, 6 o'clock Follies, and Good Time Harry. All on NBC tonight. There's the strike.
You're reading that BJ promo so often these days, you're starting to sound like a Southern boy.
BJ. Oh, man, how can I forget opening the season? BJ
Wiped
and
them
I
out.
became good friends, I hope. Pop fly in the infield. Evans makes the play.
New pitcher Greg Minton, he's leading his staff in saves with 9, 3-3 record, 2.55 ERA. His 45th game, all in relief. Like last year, while this Giants staff was crumbling, he had a pretty decent year.
They got him from Kansas City for catcher Fran Healy back in 1973. Born in Lubbock, Texas. Lives in El Granada, California. Greg Minton. Bill Buckner. It's low, ball 1.
Buck with a chance at that National League batting title.
Tell you, boy, that's quite a race.
Hendrick, Hernandez are in there. Templeton before he got hurt. It's close, isn't it?
It's Hendrick 328, Templeton 326. In fact, Buckner's up to 322, which ties him with Trio. Reggie Smith 323. Templeton, as I said, 326. McBride 318. Steve Henderson 316. Bouncing ball. Patini, long throw, gets in. Good race. National League West, good race. National League East, good race. American League, Kansas City leads Oakland by 12. Texas by 12.5. American League East, Yankees 7.5 over Baltimore, 8.5 over Detroit. That thing's not over.
I was just looking at that last routine play that Patini made. The day that Patini's had, 4 for 5. He also made a big play, Joe, that dive to his left with the bases loaded to rob Figueroa of a couple of RBIs in the base hit. Kept the Cubs from cracking this ball game open in the 3rd. He's had a real fine day.
I'll tell you, Tony, as we look at him, he came into the game hitting 240. He's going to call Mama tonight and say, guess what, Mama, I'm hitting 290. Put another piece of lasagna on the stove for me, or meatball with some seams. He's had a big day.
Now with LeMaster out, he injured his hand. Metzger out with those fingers.
Boy, the lifeblood of any ball club, still the farm system.
But the fellow we met yesterday, Jack Schwartz.
Oh.
Traveled those minor leagues, knows every stat on every kid and every tendency they have and everything about it. He's been around a long time and knows this game.
Big cut. And I'll tell you, I bet you there's a guy in Phoenix right now that's watching this ball club that knows a lot of these youngsters. King Carl Hubble. Mr. Stoneham lives there. Just can't turn it on and off like water faucet. Sadek has to be Won't be a litter bug, that's right.
Did you finally get Carl Hubble's signature last year on your Hall of Fame ball collection?
Yes,
he was out. Remember last year he was supposed to be here, and Lefty Gomez filled in. Carl couldn't make it.
Right.
Transportation
I got
problems.
him at the All-Star game. Big swing. Johnson, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
How many do you have, Hall of Fame signatures?
Mr. George Sisler, Mickey Cochran, Rogers Hornsby, Carl Hubble, DiMaggio.
You got to have Musial and Berra. I mean, the
modern guys, I'm not even counting. I'm talking about those older fellas. Bouncing ball in the hole. Patini, one hand again. Hot dog, got him. He put it on a little bit. 3 up, 3 down. We're going to bottom half of the 8th inning. It's the San Francisco Giants 8, the Cubs 5.
Hey, Dad.
Yeah.
When do you think I'm going to start shaving?
It's going to be a few years, son. But when you do, you got something great to look forward to.
Aquavelva, right, Dad?
Right. Aquavelva's real cooling. It picks you up after a shave. And it's got a fresh, clean fragrance that the girls in your class are going to love. Aquavelva, it makes a man
feel like a man, right, Dad?
All right.
There's something about an Aquavelva man.
I know. Highlights that will separate the 22nd Olympiad forever, plus a tribute to the American athletes tomorrow.
Well, I just wonder, right about now, if things had gone right, we'd be coming home from the Olympics, some of us, and there's been a lot of controversy. And tomorrow on Sports World, they're going to take a pretty good look. The 8 medals that I had to write it down phonetically. Diatinas, 8 medals.
Nadia Comaneci,
right?
New pole vault record by a nice Polish lad. About 18 feet 11, new high jump record.
We got the Battle of Britain, too. Don't forget that.
Cohen Ovett, but I think the way to look at it, if you watch it, and I'm sure most of you will, I will, and you will, Joe, is kind of a tribute to our athletes who didn't get a chance to go, but were honored in Washington by the president. And quite marvelous. Some still disagreed with the boycott. But if you look at it, that they are the ones being honored, and they've gotten gold medals approved by Congress.
Oh, they're on the team. I mean, when you watch it like Luganis, you just wonder. You just know he would have gotten a gold
Al
medal.
Erter, back for how many Olympics would that have been for him? 4, 6? You can't keep track.
Well, tomorrow on Sports World, you'll see it step by step from Afghanistan, actually, right to the winner's circle. Brian Gumbel will be the host. Bruce Jenner will be there. Any number of people. Some of our athletes. Tomorrow, Sports World. Right now, Hernandez fires a fastball that misses.
I think he's upset for that. Look at this. He's just disgusted and
threw a strike.
Not acting too professionally.
Cliff Johnson came in as if to say, hey, there's a pitcher out there. We got something going here. I'll tell you, it's more than just a ball game. We're liable to see something.
Well, Cliff might wait till he gets into the dugout.
We might have to follow him right into the dugout to see what's happening. Because we may have a little bit of a meeting here.
Kind of like, don't you dare show me up in front of all these people and a national television audience.
He just waved that Big Johnson away, and I'll tell you something. When you do that, you better be careful.
Ivy had gotten some boos earlier. Now you hear the chant in the background for Ivy. This guy's a good hitter.
Outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Cubs got Hernandez. They drafted him from the Philadelphia Phillies Oklahoma City Ball Club. Major League draft of '76. 2 balls and 1 strike. 6'2", 180-pounder. Born in Aguada, Puerto Rico. Willie Hernandez. Last year with the Cubs, he was 4-4 out of the bullpen. Fouled out of play.
Well, you can see that right hand of Ivy just fly off the bat. He just can't keep it on there, Joe, after that surgery.
Ivy's had a good day today. He's 2 for 4. Double in the 2nd inning. Scored a run after he singled in the 7th when the Giants scored 4. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Lays off, and it's a base on balls. Mike Ivy draws a walk. And that brings up Rennie Stennett. Stennett singled and scored in that 4-run 7th. In fact, Ivy and Stennett hit identical singles to the opposite side off the sinker baller Tidrow. 8-5. Bottom of the 8th inning. Outside, ball 1. In the 9th inning for Chicago, it'll be Martin, Randall, and Figueroa. One ball and 1 strike. Willie Hernandez.
This Giant ball club's been tough here in Candlestick. They're 29-18, 6-15, 1-loss percentage here in Candlestick. In fact, their pitchers have really been super. With an earned run average just over 2.5 in Candlestick.
Fouled out of play.
They got a lot of young kids pitching too since Montefusco's been out, Blue out for over a month. Moffitt's out. He's been one of the aces out of the bullpen for a bunch of years out here. He's been hurting.
They've been running a shuttle between Phoenix and here, and Shreveport for that matter. One ball, 2 strikes. Foul tip. Didn't hold it. And you know, mentioning Phoenix and the young ball players, Tony, you can't mention all the minor league managers, but living there now, Rocky Bridges has really done a job.
He's one of my favorites in yours too.
Oh, mine too.
He's a legend.
Just so many guys like Rocky, really the lifeblood of the Major League club, what they do. Fouled out of play. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 8-5. Giants are leading. Hernandez against Stennett. Two men out. Struck him out on strikes. So that completes 8 innings of baseball here, and the score here, Giants 8, Cubs 5, Martin, Randall, and Figueroa for the Cubs in the 9th.
You roll into the desert where life is a stranger. You carve a channel.
Wheel of Fortune, Password Plus, and Card Sharks. It's a brand new morning, weekdays on NBC.
11,505 here at Candlestick Park, and they're watching their Giants lead the Chicago Cubs 8-5 here in the ninth. Now, this telecast is presented by authority of Major League Baseball and is intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience, and any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of Major League Baseball is prohibited. Jerry Martin, he's walked 3 times. Cubs have had the chances, I'll tell you. Left 3 on in the 3rd, 3 on in the 6th, 2 on in the 5th, 2 on in the 2nd. Greg Minton against Jerry Martin. Ball 1. One 0 pitch. Foul tip, 1-1. Only 11,000 here, but they're having some time at the ballpark. Low misses. 2-1 to count. Jerry Martin, Lenny Randle, and Jesus Figueroa. Cubs trail by 3. Popped up. Mike Ivy, first base in foul territory, 1 out. So there's 1 away, and it brings up Lenny Randle. Greg Minton has done quite a job for these Giants. He's not allowed a home run in his last 133 2/3 innings. The last home run was on September 6, 1978. He's going for his 10th save. 1 out here in the 9th. Giants lead by 3, 8-5 is the score. Randle has walked twice. Takes the pitch low, ball 1. In fact, he walked with the bases loaded and picked up an RBI. Then he fouled to the first baseman Ivy and tapped back to the pitcher. Outside, 2-0 the count. Tony Kubek has worked his way down to the field for a possible interview. There's your strike. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out, nobody on. Next week, the Philadelphia Phillies and the Pittsburgh Pirates. And today, right now, Pittsburgh, virtual tie with Montreal. Phillies 2 games out. High chopper. Rennie Stennett at second base has it. 2 away. Two outs, nobody on, and Figueroa is the batter. And the crowd starts to head for that exit. Minton, who is looking for his 10th save, has been doing a job, and many of the Giant fans confident that he's going to nail it down right here. Had a good look at that hollowed out end of the bat. Many ball players feel they can get more weight into the bat, better balanced by the hollow end. Bouncing ball up the middle. Stennett's going to have to hustle. He can fly. He'll not get him. It's a base hit for Figueroa. So Figueroa is on. It brings up Blackwell. Blackwell lined to the second baseman in the 2nd, and he flied to right in the 3rd and flied to right in the 6th. Two men out. Base runner on at first. Ball one. Larry Bittner's come out in the on-deck circle for the Cubs, be the pinch hitter. Boy, these races getting tighter and tighter. Next Saturday, as we mentioned, Phillies, Pirates be a dandy. Fouled out of play. There are the standings. Look at that, Philadelphia 2 out, Pittsburgh a virtual tie. Red Sox and the White Sox are other games, so you check your listings for the game in your area. Here's the 1-1 pitch now. Low, 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Outside, 3-1. Mitten's got a 3-run lead. The National League West, the San Francisco Giants, 6.5 games out. Cincinnati 4, Dodgers a half. So it's still going pretty good there. There's 4 teams in the hunt there. San Diego's on a little bit of a streak in last place, all right, but it's going to get interesting. Draws the base on balls, and man, that sends the manager right to the water cooler. 8-5, and now the tying run comes to the plate in Larry Bittner, and that's what really runs you up a wall. Blackwell drawing a base on balls, no reflection on his hitting ability, but that's the one guy you don't want to walk. He came into the game hitting .246. He only has 3 home runs. Make him hit the ball. There's some kind of defense against a ball that's hit, but the base on balls, forget it. All that does is send managers to the funny farm. Here's Bittner. Bittner has 1 home run. He has driven in 20 runs, hitting .276. Two outs, 9th inning, tying run at the plate. Strike. Greg Minton against Larry Bittner, a pinch hitter. It gets away from the catcher. Both runners advance. Looks like it'll be scored as a wild pitch. Sadek, who's been digging him out all afternoon, couldn't come up with it. It is scored a wild pitch. Looked like it bounced. One of those 58-foot curveballs. Eight to 5, Giants lead. Now, for those of you on the East Coast, nightly news will be coming up right after the game. The West Coast, it'll be at the normal time. High chopper. Ivy gets it, flips to Minton. That's it. The ball game is over. And the Giants defeat the Chicago Cubs by the score of 8-5. And we'll be right back right after these messages.